Well, let's get to our topic of discussion now very quickly. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, says the newly inaugurated Dangote Petroleum Refinery and petrochemicals will help generate power for its electricity sector. The Apex Bank governor said this while speaking at the inauguration of the refinery expected to generate 12,000 megawatts of electricity. Mr. Emefiele further stated that over 135,000 permanent jobs would be available to Nigerians and as the operations begin. The 650,000 per day Dangote Refinery will be a significant landmark development in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Joining me to look at this from our Abuja studios and many more developments around this. Many say this is a game changer for the entire sector. I'm being joined by an economist, Mr. Yushau Aliyu. Thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu. It's good to have you join the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon and congratulations, Nigeria, for having the largest refinery.
Great. Let's take it from there. 650,000 barrels per day. This can also make use of all specifications of crude oil. What does this mean for Nigeria? Situating this facility here, what to you are the positives?
You see, Nigeria has been patient enough for over 10 years, expecting this giant stride from this conglomerate, which is going to impact so much on the economic life of industrialization, economic life of the GDP, including economic life of the households. We are looking at the fact that there is going to be additional employment, which is going to be a reduction in our unemployment rate, and at the same time increase the electricity capacity, which will help to gender a lot of industry, especially those that are based around Lagos. I have been to Lekki, and I have understood that this refinery, being the largest single train that is going to generate so much of business activities, including businesses that are informal. But in general sense, it's a welcome development, looking at the fact that at least we have seen players from the West Africa sub-region, including Ghanaian president and other presidents, being there. It's a good development, and Nigeria is going to benefit more. And we are expecting Dangote also not just to remain at Lekki, but also to expand the businesses in the oil sector so that we will have stability in price. You have mentioned in your earlier report, the central bank is doing its best to stabilize the naira. We also need to stabilize the supply of PMS, AGO, kerosene, and other byproducts from this industry.
Interesting way to start. But you are an economist, and I would ask you this question. I'm a journalist, and I need to know more. Pricing is what everyone is talking about, and the experts have said this might not really bring down the price of PMS, but it might a bit help us address local consumption, maybe reduce freight, and some other things. What is your understanding of what this means with regards to pricing?
Before you go into pricing, you have to look at the cost implication of making the industry working. An industry that over 19 billion is spent over 10 years. And at that same period, it has recorded a lot of challenges, including economic waste, which is in terms of loss. But we can agree that there is going to be a little bit stability in the supply. That is the first thing that the economy is looking for. But when you talk of the prices, it depends on the cost of production, because the source of the product, the primary source, must be crude oil. And this crude oil, we are happy to have it around Lagos and including the south, the oil production region of Nigeria, that is the south. So when we have this, the implication that we are expecting to bring down prices is that cost of transporting refined product from far shores of Nigeria to Nigeria, it will be eliminated. Now, that elimination of cost of transporting that same product to Nigeria, if it is eliminated, we have one factor that we assured that, there is assured that whoever is supplying this product from the Lagos axis to the Port Harcourt axis to the Sokoto axis to the Maiduguri axis will try and maintain price that is equal to the production and equal to the transport locally. If this is attained, Nigerians will be more interested in having the supplies and also to have sustainable supply. Not the fact that some people will take advantage of the absence of the supply and begin to change prices, because that is what is obtainable in most parts of Nigeria where this product is not supplied in good time.
Interesting stuff. Let's talk about competition in the market. Many say that this will open up competition, particularly in the downstream space of the oil and gas industry. And the big question is deregulation, is what many have been talking about. Do you see this as a good step for Nigeria to maybe open up this market and deregulate this market in totality? What is your take with regards to that?
The market is already deregulated. Given the fact that we have a Petroleum Industry Act at work. And this Petroleum Industry Act, the advantage of coming of this industry now is the fact that there is going to be competition. And when there is competition, there is normally what is called perfect competition. When you have perfect competition, it's a situation where all investors have equal right to invest, equal right to distribute, equal right also to make prices. But in the end, what we are expecting this market to behave, we are not expecting perfect monopoly. Now, Dangote is the single producer of refined product, is going to be the single producer for now. But we are expecting when government flush out certain inconsistencies in our existing refineries, is going to be offered to the market too, where investors will invest. After investing, they will be more efficient in trying to make production available and sustainable. Not only that, if Dangote is looking for a way to make these supplies round 300 degrees of Nigeria, we are expecting the same Dangote also to be looking for profit margin. Including selling this product to neighboring countries where the company will have more advantage, especially if it is going to sell at an international price where they will be paid. But what we are expecting in the short run, we are expecting the federal government to make certain intervention to make this Dangote to be able to attract the supply into the local economy that is fair. Second, also to have efficient arrangement with the independent marketers, whereby most of this product will be regulated and supplied at equal range. Equal range being the fact that if it is supplied at equal range, we are expecting the price in Lagos not to be the same price in Sokoto, but it will be relatively close to what all consumers will be buying, because at the end, consumers always try to maximize their benefit. They want to have this product. That is the first thing. The availability of product would determine the consistency of having an earmark price for the entire economy locally.
You touched on the PIA, very interesting document. And the issue of subsidy would always come up when we talk about the PIA, because removal of subsidy is one of the steps to totally deregulate the oil and gas sector. But considering the social and political issues surrounding subsidy removal, as an economist, do you think that Nigeria can outrightly take out subsidy at this time? Or are you in support of phased removal of subsidy, considering the economic issues at the moment?
Subsidies are counterproductive in all economies, especially to a major industry like this. And Dangote will remain a blessing to Nigeria for even having the initiative to go to international market, financial market, get funds, establish the largest trend of this industry in Nigeria. That is the first advantage, that now Nigeria is registered on the world map of having a very comprehensive, updated, and more sophisticated refinery. That is different. But when you speak of subsidy, like I said, is counterproductive. It's counterproductive, and it's also relative to different economies. In Nigeria, from inception to date, since the Petroleum Equalization Fund era, where bridging cost was put to determine prices equality within the economy, we have seen a lot of corruptions. And these corruptions has continued to magnify. Recently, in 2023, first 6 months, 3 trillion naira paid in the name of subsidy, and with the scarcity, with the shortages, with the high pricing. If that exists in an economy where you have subsidy and you have scarcity and you have differentiated prices, we don't need subsidy. The only thing is for us to have an organized market. Nigerians are very educated, are very also resilient people to cope with different situations. We would like this money that is put in subsidy to be translated in economic sectors of the economy, especially the power generation. Dangote alone is about to produce 12,000 megawatts. Well, this is a giant stride. What if we can modernize the Port Harcourt Refinery, the Warri Refinery, and Kaduna Refinery to make a similar intervention? So in my own opinion, subsidy has to go. And if it is to go, we don't need government to go and borrow any funds anywhere to come as palliative, because we are expecting the economy to stop borrowing for consumption, not or to borrow for interventions. What we are expecting is our taxes should be playing a greater role in making certain intervention and in making certain sector economy. Yeah.
Mr. Aliyu, hold your thoughts. We'll go on this brief break, very short one, and we'll be back and continue this discussion. Don't go away.